You know what?
Anything on there?
It's 6:05, we're gonna open this meeting. Robert, would you open us with a word of prayer?
Heavenly Father, gosh, it's always good to be in your presence. It's good to be here with friends. It's good to be here, to be alive. We're grateful for every breath you give us. We're grateful for the leadership in Jasper. We have our disagreements. But Father, we ask that you guide our leaders to lead us in a way that is becoming to you and is providential and helpful for each of us as citizens of Jasper. Give them insight, help us all to do the things that we should do, and act like we expect others to act. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Next item is the canvass of the election of May 7th. As the canvassing board of the city of Jasper, the following results represents the results for the May 7th, 2023 election. Council member District 3, Holly Burns had 29 and Marcus Holmes had 68. And Marcus was the winner. In District number 4, David Schultz was the winner, 99 to 93. In District 5, Rashad Lewis was the winner with 374 total votes. Proposition A passed 608 to 130. With the above declaration of canvassing results, I need a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 5-1022 regarding Proposition A.
I make a motion to adopt,
Do I have a
10-22
second?
regarding Proposition
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
A. Aye.
Pass unanimously. Judge Jackson. We'll give the oath of office.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening.
Do I need to speak by the microphone, or we just stand in close proximity, or will it pick us up wherever we are?
You talk loud enough, whatever you do.
Mr. Schultz, you come around. time. They're just two here, so it'll go fine. If you'll raise your right hand, there are going to be two different statements that we do, okay? I, state your name.
I, David Short,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I have not directly or indirectly
that I have not directly or indirectly
paid, offered, promised to pay,
paid, offered, promised to pay,
contributed, or promised to contribute
contributed, promised to pay,
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding of a vote
for the giving or withholding of
at the election at which I was elected,
the election
or as a reward to secure
or as a reward to secure
my appointment or confirmation,
appointment or confirmation,
whichever the case may be.
whichever the case may be.
So help me God. The position you were elected to is council member District Number 4, and we will sign this in just a moment. You'll raise your right hand again. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, and then you'll repeat. I, state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
Solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of council member District Number 4
of council district
of the state of Texas,
of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's come over here and sign these two, and then she has a folder for you. Put that in a few minutes, but if you'll sign your name here. And then if you'll just stand to the side and hold on to this a second, then we'll get some more pictures, okay? Scott, would you come forward, please? So you saw how we did that first one. We're gonna do it identical, okay? We're gonna do kind of the direct stage direction slides. Turn, there you go. That way they get your profile and on picture and everything. Okay? You'll raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be. So help me God. And the position that you're elected to is council member District Number 5. Raise your right hand again. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, and I say I in your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of council member District Number 5 of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Congratulations. Let's go sign some things, and then we're gonna take some pictures of family and others. I'll sign here, and you'll sign here.
Working.
House.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Rashad, David? No, it makes a big smile, because there are lots of people that are gonna be real proud of you guys. Anybody else? Is your wife here? Is your wife here? Any other family member that'd like to take a picture?
That's his fault.
All right,
Thank you.
please assume your seats. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Does council have any questions of city officials on their department reports?
None.
No questions. All right. We do have a public comment from Billy Williford.
Billy Williford, Doug Williford and Son Air Conditioning. We've been in business in town since 1958. And I just like to make a comment about, I'd like to make a comment about the permit application process. I know there's like 10 different code books that need to be followed. The previous inspectors followed them loosely or not at all in some areas. But my big problem is the process is too difficult, like for our generators. We do work in Lufkin all the way down to Port Arthur. And getting a permit, it's a one-page application. Some of them we even do on the internet and don't even have to go down to City Hall. But the other ones will go down and sign the sheet, put the homeowner's name and address on it, and give them a check, and we're on our way. The process now has evolved into requiring a lot of supporting documentation, like a site plan, and we've even had to go out and measure the lot, people's property to get a site plan drawn up, and then the wiring layout, and then also one thing I've got a problem with is that we're required to show a plumbing pipe layout along with pipe sizing, and we're not a licensed plumber, but the homeowner contracts with the plumber, and that's their job. They get a permit, and so now we're having to coordinate with the plumber and get all that information to go onto our permit application, and it's so much easier everywhere but Jasper. I mean, I really don't like to complain, but I think things should be streamlined a little bit. And I think also, the process has become a lot more complex than it used to be. But, we had no prior warning about, what changes were coming. And, we're pretty much, I guess, dealing with each issue as it comes up. And if, we had maybe an opportunity to have a discussion and be told what's coming up, what's to be expected of us, I think that would go a long way to, help our relations with the inspector and the program. So that's about all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
The first item of business is to elect the Mayor Pro Tem.
Make a motion to elect Scott Lewis, Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second that.
Make a motion to elect Anderson Lane Pro Tem.
What'd you say?
I make a motion to elect Anderson Lane as Mayor Pro Tem.
You want to amend that motion that
Yeah.
was done?
We've got a motion and a second. All in favor of Rashad Lewis, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passed.
I'll abstain.
Consider approval of one set of minutes from the regular city council
Mayor?
meeting. What?
Question, you had 2 members? I thought you had to have 3 members. said motion passed, you had two members that said aye, right? You got three members, I
I
abstained.
made a
We
nomination.
had two,
I
We
made,
had a motion,
and
second.
he
I
didn't
made a
vote,
motion,
you
you made a
abstained.
second motion, I made a motion.
I abstained.
But you're here, so that, two votes and two abstains, that's four, we have a quorum, right?
Yeah.
2-0,
You have to have three, I thought you have to have three members.
right?
Well, you know, if it's a tiebreaker, you're the tiebreaker.
But there's no tie, because if two abstain, you got two that voted for, it. An abstention is not a vote.
That's right. That's correct.
That's correct.
Two votes, winner.
It's 2 and 2, and
And I break the tie, I vote for Rashad.
But there's no tie, an abstention is not a vote. There is no tie.
All right, and it's
So the motion passed for lack of numbers to vote.
well, you just have to table.
I'll restate my motion. I made a motion to nominate him to be Mayor Pro Tem for Rashad Lewis.
Right,
I got a second down here. And then there was a second motion made, but we already had a motion second.
But we already had that one, so now I amended the motion. So now we have to vote on the amendment, on the amended motion.
okay, and your amended motion is what?
I
Good.
didn't.
You what?
No, he made a
He-
motion. after
right.
I signed it. So let's revote my motion to make sure we're on the same page.
Okay, we'll revote the first one for Rashad Lewis. Everybody in favor of Rashad as Mayor Pro Tem, say aye.
Aye.
That's how much two.
So did you vote or not vote?
I didn't vote, I made a nomination to, elect Anderson Mayor.
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem.
That's where the confusion comes.
But I mean, so I don't vote for myself. to be
Okay,
Mayor
did
Pro
you
Tem.
have a
Yeah, you
second?
do.
Do I have a second? Who made a second for my?
I second his motion.
I don't know if he can
You
do
don't have the
that.
same,
So,
same
yeah, so
situation.
if I nominate him, is he able to make a second on the nomination?
Second motion is for you.
That's what, yes.
Yeah, he did.
I made a motion to
You
nominate.
second.
Yeah, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I nominated.
That's two.
So it's 2-2, so
All opposed?
Aye.
That's two.
it's a tiebreaker, right?
And I vote for Rashad.
There you
But there's no tiebreaker. Abstain.
When is two,
Okay.
two not a tie?
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
But I didn't
yeah,
abstain.
yeah.
That's
So
good.
it passed.
Pass.
Consider approval of one set of minutes, regular call city council meeting of April 11th.
go. There was a couple of things on that, the proclamation. It said that I read that. I think it was actually Laura that read that.
I left that.
And then on the bottom, on the LED lighting, I made a motion to go to the next lowest bidder. And it passed unanimously. We're gonna check on some numbers. And, whoops, apparently there's a little bit of confusion. I'm not sure exactly the details of it from the original bidder. He had accepted the bid, I think, but he changed some purchase price on it. I haven't seen the final numbers, but I saw the estimates. And, I don't know if he's still interested or not. Apparently I'll check into it. But we had moved to the next lowest bidder above him at our last meeting and it was approved. I don't know what the current status of that is.
Yeah, but David, I don't think that we could do what, that motion that you made still wasn't, we still hadn't clarified the issue with the first bidder.
We had a
So you
letter.
really couldn't make that motion.
We had a letter from the manufacturer that said they weren't gonna get supplied the fixture.
Did we get a letter from the bidder saying that they couldn't
And
get
we asked about the bid bond, and the gentleman that got the bid, apparently he already got his bid bond back, and he wanted to change the price of the fixtures, but he said we're 5 days out, so I just went to the next person.
that? I don't know, can we do that?
I don't think that he said he couldn't do the job, he said he was changing the price on the job, and he couldn't get the lights that we had.
After he submitted his
Now, that
bid,
was in the RFP.
Was he still the lowest bidder?
After 45 days,
I contacted Larry Simmons.
Is that who the guy was?
Now, Larry Simmons is an attorney with Garment Barracks. And gave him all the documents and asked his legal opinion for what we should do. And he said he is still recommending, the documents was in your information if we'd have got it on the agenda, but he is recommending that we still go with the first bidder. Because even though that he went back with a price change after the 45 days, it is still $175,000 cheaper than the second lowest bidder.
So the bid that was made initially, even with the change, is still gonna be less expensive. And he is gonna get the lights that we expect.
Yes, that's
So
what I've been
everything, so the
told.
warranty and the lighting, he's got it figured out now.
I've been told that. Now, he does not have a signed contract yet. He's got the contract, but we haven't signed it yet. He's got the notice to proceed, which, and I was told he was getting his, bond and insurance all together. And he had
We'll
already.
clear him up next week.
So we can
Yes.
take care of that. I'll stand corrected on that if he's got, I didn't think that he was gonna be able to get the fixture, is what I understood.
Now, I don't have any documentation and nobody has told me that.
Okay.
So if y'all have documentation
We had a
to
letter.
show me otherwise, that he could not do it, I need that documentation forward to the attorney. I'll verify the other way.
Okay,
So are you going to approve the minutes as
we've
those
got a
corrections?
motion, do I have a
I just wanted to
motion
correct what I
to
said.
approve the minutes as they are?
I'm still one of the two changes that I made.
Just one of them?
I didn't read that, Laura did, and when I put the next lowest bidder, not the low bidder. But the changes that I had asked about, I'll make a motion to approve with those two changes.
Okay. Do I
So
have
what you
another
change,
motion?
what two changes is that, David?
The one that said that I read a proclamation, I didn't read that, Laura did. And I said next lowest bidder, not low bidder, whenever we made that motion last time.
So we need to amend that to say
Yes.
low bidder.
The next
You-
lowest bidder, I went up, I'm not gonna amend, I want what I said put in there. And if we have to change it, that's fine.
Jeremy, you know what?
I'm not gonna.
The LED lighting
You
is
got it.
still with Bright Star.
Correct.
Just clarifying the wording of what he said in the last meeting.
I'm not gonna vote for that, because he still wants what he put in there. I'm
All
not
in
gonna vote.
favor? All right, he made a motion, do I have a second?
Second. So.
All in favor, say aye.
One moment, so we're voting on, the language of what the
That's
minutes
all.
are. Oh,
It doesn't change the bid or anything.
it's just the language of who
That's
said
all
what.
it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but what you're saying is you wanna go to the next lowest bidder, is that what you're saying, Dave?
I think he's just,
I was
correcting
just
the
correcting
language.
the minutes, she just told me that's not what we do.
Okay,
I just was correcting what I said in the minutes, that's all.
so you're saying, you're correcting it to the lowest bidder or the next lowest bidder?
Correcting what I said last month, the
Which was-
next lowest bidder, that's what I said when I made the
And
motion.
that's what we're putting that in the minutes, the next lowest bidder.
Correct, because it says low bidder, and I said next lowest bidder like whenever we voted. I got a motion in a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Did you vote, Rashawn?
Yeah, if he's just changing the language, it doesn't change anything in the documentation.
All right. Consider request for variance from code enforcement, Mr. Robert Jackson at 331 West College Street.
I make a motion to approve that request.
Presented, I'm just here to observe.
Yeah.
I understand, but Denise, what's the variance?
I can tell you. He has a pool house,
Yes.
and they're gonna tear it down and build a new house at the same location. So it's, kind of a rebuild of the same structure that is there within the variance.
Okay.
And so it's like, it was already existing there,
Okay.
and they're just remodeling it or replacing it.
Well, what's?
I'll
the-
So,
second
this has been signed off already by code?
Yes, Mr. Chestnut is here to speak about the
Yes,
situation.
yes, Council Mayor. Mr. Jackson came in a few weeks ago to discuss this project. He submitted plans here last week. In the documents that you can see in your packet there, the existing pavilion that he has. They're just tearing that one down, and they're gonna replace it, construct a new one from the foundation up. The reason that he can't move, or he's requesting this encroachment, is he's got a pool that's already in place. The previous structure was already there, that close to it. Code enforcement and fire doesn't have any objection to it, and we have all the plans approved and ready to go based on the vote tonight.
I make a motion.
Okay, well, I reintroduce my motion that we approved.
I'll second it.
What was your motion to accept?
Yes, my motion was to approve the request for the variance.
Did you second it?
Yes, I second
All in favor, say aye.
it. Aye.
All opposed? It passed. Item 4, consider request from Councilmember Anderson Land and DeMarcus Holmes to cancel the broadband contract from Kramer Services LLC and instruct the city finance director to make final payment to those parties.
Can I make a motion to postpone this until the next meeting, because it's my first day, I need to do my, homework on what we're voting on. So can
I second that.
I'd like to amend that postponement to a definitive date.
Can't hear you,
regular
David.
schedule. I'd like to amend that postponement to a definitive date of December of this year at our regular council meeting, and amend it to refer this to a committee made up of Rashad Lewis, Michael Daniel, and myself.
Well, we made the motion, we got a second on that one, we got to vote on that one, and then you can amend it, David.
I thought I could amend the motion after you got a second, we could discuss it. Oh, we had a second to discuss it.
We haven't discussed it.
That's what I'm doing right now, wait a minute.
Well, I made a motion to postpone it to give me time to do my homework on the actual.
That's what I was trying
And
to
I
say.
second that motion, so we need to, we
So
discuss
now
it.
we're discussing, he's discussing it.
Okay.
He's requesting.
So we need to vote on it, and then. if we vote
Postpone it to a
then we
definitive time, December, and refer to a committee of Daniels, myself, and Rashad Lewis, because of the PPP stuff that they're currently working on.
Motion to state that.
Well, no, I'm making my amendment so I can do my homework on what's going on, since it's my first meeting back.
Correct.
I would love to do the homework, so I would love to take the time to,
Would you be willing to be on a committee to do that homework and have the consultant give you the PPP options that they've been working on?
at this moment, I can't make a decision. It would give me, time to make a decision, but at this moment, I can't make the decision.
Would you be willing to accept or postpone it to a definitive time? That time being December 2022, a regular scheduled meeting, unless something comes up prior.
All right, can we, move that can we postpone it to the next meeting in June?
I would prefer to postpone it to December. The consultant that we've hired today working with some PPP, private public funds, as recent as last week in Houston, and I don't even know the details of it.
We can't hear you.
He's made the
We
motion,
can't.
I'll second it, so.
All this sidebar ain't gonna get it. Why don't y'all talk where people
Yeah.
can hear?
What was it?
I didn't realize what.
Please go over that
What
again,
I'm
please.
saying is, I would like to postpone it and bring this item back on the agenda on next month, which gives me the 30 days I need to do the homework on the whole proposal of between Kramer Service and everything. So I'm asking if I could have 30 days to do the homework, to do my due diligence, to study what's going on. I'm asking that, can I postpone it until next month to put it back on the agenda? And then at that time, we can talk about the committee and everything at that meeting. But right now, I can't agree to you.
So you wanna postpone to the next regular scheduled meeting?
That's
To
correct.
give you a chance to look at it.
That's
That's fine,
correct.
that's fine.
All right, so we're not gonna,
So what I'm saying is, we're not gonna vote on it today, we're
He
just gonna
wants to
postpone it until the next meeting.
yeah,
So he can look at it.
that's what we were looking at,
Yeah.
was to postpone it to a certain time and date. That way we can form a committee to discuss and review and get with the consultant to
Well-
actually do a full-blown review and get all the information to new council members that are coming on.
And what I'm saying is, I don't wanna make that commitment to the committee until I do the homework on the actual,
Excuse me, may I say something there? According to Robert's Rules of Order, which I'm gonna read to you right now, okay? It says, if you make a motion, the motion is second, and you rate, then we, discuss it, and then it has to be voted on. After you vote on it, either pass or fails, and then you can amend, and you can make another motion.
That's what
Correct.
That's what you can do. But after discussion, we had that discussion, Then we
Correct.
can vote on it. Then if
He
David wants to.
made a
re-
motion to postpone to the next meeting.
Right, and I second.
And you seconded.
That's correct.
I was fixing to say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did you say aye?
I think y'all need to start showing hands to help, Karen with
Okay.
this.
Hold your hand up if you voted for that.
To postpone it until
Yes.
next week.
To postpone,
Yes.
Okay. That's the next meeting, right, Jim?
And all opposed? 2-2.
Break the tie.
What do we got? Postpone it to June?
He
So
said-
yes, I make the motion to
He said to
postpone
vote on
it.
it. Now he said, now they said we voted on it, we can make an amendment.
All right. Make an amendment.
I'd like to amend it to December of 2022 with the intent of establishing a committee of the three people that were previously.
Can't hear
I think that's
you.
too
We
far,
can't hear
Dave.
you.
I asked to postpone it definitively to December of 2022, our regular scheduled meeting, with the intent of the committee that was named with Rashad, Mike Daniel, and myself on it. There's, some potential funding coming down the pipe for this project from some private sector. And I'm not even sure of all the details, because they were in Houston last week, so I don't even know who all the players are, to be honest with you. I haven't talked to them.
So if you don't know all that, David, why would we wanna take that long, December? I'm just asking, why would we
I'll
wanna do
second
that?
that.
Got a motion and a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No,
Why
I'll
is
vote for
Anderson left out?
so I'm trying to figure out why are we putting this off to, we have to have a discussion on this, why are we waiting until December to do this?
They trying to set.
Mayor?
We've got, it's passed.
So
We
this,
did not discuss that, Mayor. I asked the question, why? I'm just asking, Dave, why are we
He
putting
just
it off
told
until
you.
December?
Before the meeting, I came down there and I told you that the consultant was in Houston last week, and I'm not privy to all the details, but they're working on something that they said it was gonna take several months to get all the details together. When I talked to you prior to the meeting.
The same consultant, you talking about Nathan?
Yes,
Watkins?
yes, yes.
So he's not available to us, and I just don't understand why we're paying him this money and he can't be available to us. I understand you're saying he's been down in Houston, but if, you know, we're gonna do this, then we need to, he needs to be making himself available.
Anyway,
so before we move, can I just get clarity on the motion? So the motion is to be postponed until the next.
December.
We want to postpone it to December.
So this item is postponed until December?
Yes.
With the definitive date, yes.
Item number 6, consider approval of the short form agreement between the city of Jasper and HDR Engineering for the
Did you skip number
interlocal
5?
agreement for the GLO flood property.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 6.
We skipped number 5, we didn't get the vote.
Item 5.
We don't- next
Yeah,
class.
sorry.
So that was the one we did for code enforcement for Derek.
We've got a motion.
I'll second that.
Do I have a second?
Michael?
Second.
Who made the motion, please?
I did.
All in favor, say aye.
No.
All opposed?
Anderson, you
No,
opposed
no,
the
no, no.
board? All in favor?
Number 7, consider utility pole attachment agreement.
That's the one that she gave us that's current, and we're just gonna put it into our,
Well, this is the one that we have not had a pole attachment agreement in 30+ years. After we come up with charter and it come up to the fact and realized that we didn't have anything,
yes.
we contacted an attorney that was in Austin that was familiar with this, and she went through and drafted us a current one. Now, this is the top 2 pages that or really 3 pages that I've given you, or it's just the highlights of the other document. It's just, it's really standard, but it's really more catered to our needs. It doesn't have all the big fluff and stuff like Austin or what is, because it was unnecessary. Lee has gone over with it. Now, the fee per each pole is dependent on the FCC calculated formula, and we won't know that until, we get their documentation saying how many poles and stuff like that. But all of the cost, even when Charter was to come back to, we put the cost all on the one that's wanting to lease our poles.
Correct.
Now, this one is the one that we're preferring that we go with, but it also will come back to you later, whether you approve it now or later, if you wanna look at it and get some more information about it, or just be familiar with it. But I will be sending a draft of this to Charter, or really the attorneys will, because they are wanting, they're anxious to get their project going. We can't stop them, but we can give them a current agreement. So we will give it to them, they make their suggestions, probably won't take any of their suggestions, because this is in our best interest.
Sure, mate.
So I just need y'all's guidance to either approve it now, I can bring it back to next month, along with Charters, and see,
I'll make a motion to approve as presented for the city.
I second.
thank you.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Pass unanimously. Number 8, consider approval for purchase of playground equipment citywide to be purchased with Cambridge funds at the current buy board cost of $453,391.
Y'all, this is quite a bit different than what we first expected, just like everything else. So a $1,000 transformer is now $5,000. But Greg can give you a little bit more update. All of our equipment except the playground equipment at Bird Park is pushing on 40 years. Oh, we're gonna have to either take them down or close the park. It's the way they are. We have, tried to repair them. Jody has put plates on them. We've put welded and stuff like that. They're just old. And lots of, Greg can tell you a little bit more what we're gonna do about them.
Yeah, we went back and looked at what's underneath them, all the playground, and what we went with over Sandy Creek West. And like in Bird Park, you can see it's getting all around the playground equipment over there, you're getting that soft foam under there, same as the new playground here, and at Kiwanis and Caradine hadn't had playground equipment, good playground equipment in, like Denise said, 40 years.
Well, some of it's from Burger King.
Well, that's the Kiwanis is from Burger King, it was donated to us, and it's in bad shape, it's the stuff the kids get their legs burned on, it's the old metal and stuff, so this is.
So what about the
When we go,
flooding?
I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask, what about the flooding at Kiwanis? When it rains hard, a lot of the equipment is underwater. So
Yes, and this is supposed to survive all that too, just like that down there.
Okay.
I have a question. When David, you submitted the, request to do, Caradine Park, that wasn't figured into that?
Now, that was a separate project as far as,
This is just playground equipment.
that was just the tennis courts and the pickleball courts and some of the, seating area. This is actual, all playground equipment. We've added the infant swings, because that was a request. We added some of the ADA compliance for some of the handicap.
So we went from $40,000 to $73,000?
Well, also at the same time, this is all plastic. This is, most of this material is, it's like 12-inch water pipe. When y'all approved the 12-inch water pipe for the fire training field, it was $19 a foot. Thursday, when I went price more, it was $49 a foot. So, I mean, anything made of plastic and.
So, I mean, I understand it, and that all sounds good, and I see the numbers here, but do we have a breakdown of the cost of whatever we're purchasing or whatever?
It's on the back page of,
Yeah, when they went over there, Anderson, they took the old back fence and they moved it all the way back towards the street to the front of the park, I'll say. All the area that had been flooding, they took all that out of the park, so it's probably half the size that it was. The area that they were looking at putting this equipment was in that original front half, I'll say. They
Yeah,
took all
I
that
see.
old equipment out.
Okay, and I see what we have, and I see you saying that the quotes, but I'm saying that we have a breakdown of what the purchase of what
Yes,
we're
and
doing.
the drawings and everything.
the Bird Park. I mean, it's not the equipment that's gonna be added so much to Bird Park, it's all the rubber stuff that they're gonna play under instead of in right now that it's on the rocks.
Plus some more benches and shade
Benches and
covers.
shade covers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so I don't see that, I mean, I understand we probably do need all that, but I'm just saying, we just have the numbers of what is the cost. You don't have a breakdown of the equipment and everything that you're gonna purchase.
Nope, that is, but it just is a conglomeration of it, it's just like the
each one's similar to like this one that's right here, this area.
Or like the one that's at Sandy Creek Park, the other one on the other side. Now, we did the shade covers, or for the other park is the new, that wasn't included when we first talked to you about. And the mama and baby swings that we don't have, and these are swings that a mama puts the baby in and faces them swings, instead of just putting an infant in the child. But the other stuff is like, the biggest expense that we're talking about is the ground cover, not so much necessarily. Now, we can provide you, Anderson, if you want a copy of it. I guess we've got a copy of every piece of equipment there
It's all
is.
five boards.
Okay. So basically, you're just talking about adding ground cover, shade covers, or benches. Okay,
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor? Raise your hand. Pass unanimously.
Thank you
Number
very
9
much.
is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Mayor, y'all voted tonight to extend this doings till December. This man is getting $25,000 a month for consultants. He gonna be paid all the way through December?
I would think so.
Oh, great,
Holy
okay.
cow. And
Thank you.
why is, you gotta be kidding me. Why would they be,
Yes.
why would there be 3 council members on the committee? And are you excluding Anderson Land?
I did not include it, I asked Rashad, and Michael and myself.
Quick question, did we adjourn?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna use.
That might be a good one.
I just, it's got $25,000.
And Daniel was getting.